Hello Michelle. This video might be a little bit shorter, I'm not sure, but I want to get on with my Sketchbook Skool homework. Yay! I am enjoying Sketchbook Skool so much. Thank you for gifting me a class pass. At first I was intimidated by our classmates, they seemed so adept already, but then more recently with the assignments being that we have to draw in a very particular cartoon kind of style, it seems to have leveled the playing field. I mean, there are people who are still a lot better at drawing overall, but when you have to all draw in a certain style, then it seems to be not as intimidating, and it's just been so enjoyable, and everyone is so open and sharing their work and commenting on each other's work, and it's so cool. Thank you. I loved week one with xoxoxox. I loved the way that she talked. I loved the way that she shared her life and how she got to where she is today and her little studio tour and everything. I stuffed up my concertina homework a bit. I somehow glued it together a little bit incorrectly, and I came out with basically 3 double panels instead of 5, which suited me perfectly because I was really struggling to find time last week. So doing just 3 little drawings suited me well. Kusha was wonderful to listen to. She has a lovely way of talking and sharing her thoughts out loud, and it was extremely inspiring to actually watch her think about, like, because she was thinking out loud, think about what she was going to do and then draw it. And it wasn't an intimidating kind of drawing as well. She was just obviously very experienced and knew exactly how she wanted to place the lines on the paper, but just using the 2 colours, it was beautiful and inspiring to watch. Only a tiny bit through the week so far with Marloes de Vries. I also loved her videos. I felt it was so tragic hearing her story about people back in college telling her that she should give up on the thing that she enjoyed doing. I experienced the same thing at college. The main person at the music school that I went to effectively told me that I didn't belong there. So I really feel what she went through. I love her journal doodles. I would really like to purchase that, but I can't find it online. I hope she'll republish those. I ended up buying one of her travel journals, which I'm really excited to get. I just think it's gorgeous. So far, I've also really enjoyed doing the homework for week 2. I did the cartoon sketch of my family, and then I did the sketch that we had to do of my inner critic, which was super fun. I had the idea while I was sleeping of exactly what I wanted to do, and then I put it together the next day. And it was my first go using paint since I think I was about age 15, and I'm just finding it so much fun. Speaking of which, oh my goodness, thank you so much for your art supplies care package. I had nothing except a couple of fine liners, and my dad had offered to give me a couple of old watercolor sets that he had and some old watercolor brushes that he had, but they were pretty old and very well used. It was just so cool to receive this notification that I had a package and to go and pick it up, and it was like Christmas, opening all the things and seeing what was inside. And I think James might be a little bit devastated to learn that I've fallen in love with someone else, because the little Pabio watercolor paint set, travel set, is just divine, and I want to carry it everywhere. I just love it. I'm excited to do today's Sketchbook Skool homework with all of my new stuff. Today's homework is to portray myself experiencing an emotion, like being happy or sad, about something that's happened recently, and I think I'm going to try to portray how much I'm enjoying all of this. A mutual friend of ours has moved to Sweden. She hates her job. She's telecommuting for her job back to America, but she's hanging out for her long service leave, which is in January. I was thinking about all the times that I made up excuses regarding staying at a place that I hated rather than trying something new, in a way, because it was easier. And how toxic that became. And I was wondering if maybe it was like a sunk investment to stay somewhere that was becoming toxic to you, maybe exchanging a few months of toxicity for a couple of weeks of paid holiday. And I was wondering what you thought about that. I had, as far as I know, our first feedback from a long-time reader, first-time caller. I used to run Girls Club with Shannon, and she sent me some messages after our first couple of letters about the loving your enemies exercise, the loving kindness meditation, where I had to imagine sending love to my enemies and I couldn't do it. And she said that when she learned to do that in Buddhism classes, Buddhism meditation classes, they started out with sort of really much easier exercises, and then they worked their way, worked their way to much more difficult sort of scenarios. So she said she started with, you know, loved ones and friends and acquaintances, and then people she was maybe indifferent to, like people that she vaguely knew, or strangers, you know, someone that she knew from up the street but she'd never actually spoken to them, and then people that she maybe had a little difficulty with, someone who was vaguely in her workplace that she found a little bit difficult but didn't really care that much, and then kept on practicing and working her way to people who had caused her great grief in her lifetime. And that made a lot more sense. I think that maybe when they ran that exercise in my yoga meditation class and they kind of skipped within 5 minutes from loved ones to friends and family to enemy, that maybe that could have been for an advanced practitioner of loving kindness meditation, but not for a newbie like myself. So thank you, Shannon, wherever you are out there at the moment, for sending in those messages. And back to you, Michelle. Thank you for showing me your art supplies. I'm sure you have more. You didn't really seem to show paints and stuff like that, but thank you for linking to Pinterest, because I didn't actually realize that so many people were sharing ideas of storage for art supplies on Pinterest, of course. I also wanted to say I found that I wanted to wear some sort of magnifying glasses while I was painting, because it seemed to be quite sort of delicate and fiddly, and I felt like I wanted things to be bigger while I was working on that, and I was wondering if you wore glasses that magnified things while you paint. I hope your bunny is better. And lastly, I was going to put our videos in a playlist so that they could play in chronological order, but I wasn't sure what to call it. I was thinking like Dear Fox and Mish or something like that, or something else. Any thoughts? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That is all. I would like to get on with my Sketchbook Skool homework now. Yay! Bye. I love you. 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 Bye.